Okay, so you know all the buzz about ChatGPT and AI writing poems and even coding. Well, get this. Today's deep dive is about a whole new wave of AI. They're called vertical LLM agents. We're talking AI that's not just smart but specialized. We've got a stack of articles, reports, even a tweet from OpenAI to unpack all of this.
The fascinating thing is we're moving away from this idea of one AI that can do it all. It's going towards purpose-built AI. Think of these vertical LLM agents like the specialized roles in our world.
Mm.
The surgeons, the engineers, the lawyers of AI. Each one is trained on data from a specific field, which makes them really good at what they do.
So instead of a jack of all trades, it's like we've got a whole team of AI specialists. That's pretty cool. But why the shift? What makes this specialized approach so much better than, say, ChatGPT's do-it-all style?
Okay, imagine ChatGPT as that brilliant friend who's a jack of all trades. They can kind of dabble in anything from writing a song to explaining quantum physics. But if you had a complex legal case, you wouldn't go to that friend. You'd go to a lawyer who spent years immersed in legal texts, precedents, the entire world of law. That's what this vertical training does. It creates an AI that understands not just the language, but the context of a whole field.
Okay, so specialization equals expertise, which means better results.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Hmm.
Now, one company that seems to be all in on this idea is Codifica Inc. It seems like they're putting their money where their mouth is, actually developing these vertical LLM agents as their core business.
Yeah, Codifica really believes that the future of AI isn't one AI doing it all. It's a network of specialized AIs, each one excelling in its own specific niche. They've even got these two products, Codi's Service Assistant and Codi Training Assistant, that really show this vision.
It's like Codifica is building an army of specialized AI agents, and each one is trained for a specific mission. So let's talk about these Codi assistants. First up, Codi Service Assistant. What's the game plan with this one?
Imagine you're browsing an online store, it's 2:00 a.m. You really need to know if this one dress comes in red. And bam! Codi Service Assistant pops up in the chat. But it's not just some chatbot giving generic answers. It has access to the whole product catalog, knows all the stock levels, even understands the return policy.
It's like having a super efficient, always-on customer service rep who actually knows what they're talking about. Where do I sign up? What are some other ways businesses are using this Codi Service Assistant?
Think about industries where 24/7 support is really important, but hiring tons of reps just isn't possible. Take healthcare, for example. Codi's Service Assistant can handle scheduling appointments, medication reminders, even answer frequently asked questions about common procedures. This frees up human staff to deal with the more complicated cases.
That could be a game changer, especially for clinics that are just swamped and struggling to keep up with all their patients' needs. But let's switch gears for a second, talk about Codi Training Assistant. What's this one's specialty?
Well, imagine onboarding new employees, but instead of using those boring old manuals, you have an AI that tailors training to their exact role and their learning speed. It can even throw in some quizzes to make sure they're paying attention.
Okay, that's definitely way better than those click-through presentations that I usually get stuck with. But how does Codi Training Assistant actually make learning more effective?
Let's say you're trying to train sales reps on this complex product line. Instead of just overwhelming them with all this information at once, Codi Training Assistant uses this thing called microlearning. It breaks all the info down into these bite-sized modules. Then it uses gamification, things like points, badges, maybe even a leaderboard to get a little rivalry going. This keeps them engaged and learning.
It's like they're turning employee training into a video game. I can see why Codifica is so gung-ho about this whole specialized AI approach. But how does this actually play out in different industries?
Think about a marketing agency that's just trying to keep up with the ever-changing world of social media. Codi Training Assistant can give them up-to-the-minute modules on new platforms, algorithm changes, even the latest meme formats. That way, their team is always ahead of the curve.
Okay, I'm sold. Some specific examples of how Codifica is using these vertical LLM agents to revolutionize customer service and employee training.
Let's do it. Their work gives us a fascinating glimpse into the real-world applications of this technology. Let's dive into a concrete example of Codi Service Assistant in action. Okay, imagine you're running this trendy online clothing boutique. And you've got customers from all over the world shopping at all hours, and they expect instant answers about sizing, shipping, all of it.
Yeah, the pressure is on to deliver that super smooth online experience.
Exactly. So now, instead of hiring this huge customer service team, you've got Codi Service Assistant working, 24/7. Got a customer in Paris asking about a dress in French. Codi handles it. Someone in California needs to track their order at 3 in the morning. Codi's got it.
It's like having a multilingual team of customer service superstars that never sleep. No more waiting on hold, no more frustrating back and forth emails.
And here's the really cool part. Because Codi Service Assistant is a vertical LLM, it doesn't just handle these general questions. It understands the little details, the nuances of e-commerce. It can see what's in the store's inventory in real time, offer personalized recommendations based on a customer's browsing history. It can even help people navigate different payment options.
So it's not just answering questions, it's like leveling up that whole shopping experience.
Yeah, right, exactly. And what does that lead to? Happier customers, more sales, way more customer loyalty.
Now that's what I call smart business. But let's switch gears. Let's talk about another industry where Codi Service Assistant is making a big splash. Healthcare. We talked before about 2047 support, but can you give me an example of how that actually works?
Okay, picture this. It's Saturday night. You need to renew a prescription, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to wait till Monday morning to call the doctor's office. So with Codi Service Assistant, it's built right into their healthcare provider system. They log into a secure portal, and they can just request a refill right then and there.
Okay, so that's already way more convenient than playing phone tag with the doctor's office.
But get this. Codi can actually look at the patient's medical history,
Yeah.
check for any potential problems with, other medications they might be taking, and even send that renewal straight to the pharmacy.
Wow, so it's like having a personal healthcare assistant, available 24/7.
Exactly. And think about what that means for healthcare workers. It frees them up to focus on the really complicated cases, cuts down those crazy wait times, and ultimately just leads to better care for everybody.
It's really amazing to think about how much time and stress this could save for, both patients and healthcare providers. But all right, let's shift gears one more time and talk about Codi Training Assistant. We touched on how it can create those personalized learning experiences, but can you give me a real-world example?
Sure. Let's say you're onboarding a brand new sales rep at a software company. They need to learn, everything, all about your products, your sales process, who you're even selling to, your target market. So instead of just drowning them in information, Codi Training Assistant makes this personalized roadmap, a learning path that guides them through everything step by step.
So it's like this totally customized onboarding that changes depending on how they're learning and how fast.
Exactly. And remember those microlearning modules we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Codi Training Assistant can take even the most complicated ideas and break them down into these digestible little chunks of information, way easier to remember.
That's got to be way more engaging than just sitting through hours of boring presentations.
And to make it even better, Codi can even throw in quizzes and interactive exercises to really make that information stick.
It's like turning employee training into a game. I bet that does wonders for helping people actually remember what they learned.
You got it. And this is where you really see Codifica's vision of specialized AI in action. Because Codi Training Assistant is trained on data that's specific to a certain industry, it can really fine-tune the training content for that industry's specific needs.
So a sales rep at a software company is going to have a very different experience than, say, a barista learning at a coffee shop.
You got it.
Now let's zoom out and think about the bigger picture for a sec. What does the rise of these vertical LLM agents actually mean for the future of work? Are we all going to be replaced by robots?
That's the million-dollar question, right? It's on everyone's mind. And honestly, it makes sense to be a little concerned.
Yeah, especially with everyone talking about AI taking over the world.
Right. But at the end of the day, I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Okay.
It's up to us how we decide to use it.
So instead of being scared of AI, we should be thinking about how we can use its powers for good.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I think the rise of these vertical LLM agents is a huge opportunity.
Okay, tell me more. I'm intrigued.
Think of all the jobs that people do right now that are, frankly, kind of a drag. Repetitive, time-consuming, maybe even a little dangerous.
Like data entry, customer service calls, even some surgeries.
Yes. All of those tasks that honestly could be automated, or at least, AI could help out.
So instead of AI taking our jobs, these agents could actually free us up to focus on work that's more creative, more strategic, more fulfilling.
Exactly. Imagine a world where doctors can actually spend more time with their patients, where teachers can focus on each student individually, where customer service reps can handle those really complicated issues that need that human touch.
That sounds like a way better future than us all just pushing buttons for robots.
Right. It's a much more optimistic way to look at it.
It really is. But it's not even just about freeing up human workers. It's about the new opportunities this creates, too.
Of course, you need people to develop these vertical LLM agents, to deploy them, to maintain them. That's a whole new workforce.
So we're talking jobs in AI development, data science, machine learning.
All of that. And these are good jobs, high-paying jobs, jobs that are in demand, and they're only going to become more and more common as this technology keeps evolving.
It's like the Industrial Revolution all over again. New technology comes in, creates whole new industries, new opportunities.
I love that analogy. And just like the Industrial Revolution changed the world, this AI revolution is going to change how we live, how we work, even just how we interact with each other.
It's a time of big change, that's for sure, and some uncertainty. But it's also a time for incredible opportunity.
It really is. I'm excited to see what the future holds, aren't you?
It's like we're standing here right at the edge of this huge, like, tech earthquake, and it's exciting, but it's also kind of scary, you know?
It really is. And I think the big question everyone has is, okay, what does this actually mean for me? Like, how will these vertical LLM agents change my job, my industry, my life?
Exactly. We've thrown around all these possibilities, but let's get real. What are some real, concrete ways that people can get ready for this future where AI is everywhere?
I really think it boils down to this. Embrace this idea of lifelong learning.
So we're talking about always learning new skills, always leveling up what we know.
Exactly. The jobs of the future are going to need people who are flexible, who can adapt, people who are cool with learning new things their entire careers. The days of learning one skill and just coasting for 30 years, those are over.
So it's like we have to become learning machines ourselves, always adapting to the newest tech, the newest ways of doing things.
I love that. And the good news is there are so many resources now to help us do that. Online courses, these intensive boot camps, workshops. I mean, the opportunities to improve our skills, to learn totally new ones, they're everywhere.
That's true. No excuses.
Right.
Especially with so many free resources online. But what about the skills that AI just can't do? You mentioned creativity, critical thinking, problem solving. How do we get better at those things so we're ready for this AI-powered future?
Those are the skills that will make you stand out. Those are the things AI can't automate. And I think the best way to get better at them is by actually doing them. Get experience, work with other people, and push yourself outside your comfort zone.
So look for challenges, team up, and don't be afraid to try new things, even if you might fail.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to mess up, to fail a few times. Honestly, sometimes those are the best learning experiences.
Isn't that the truth? That's good advice for life in general. But let's bring it back to careers specifically. What industries, what kinds of jobs do you think are in a good spot as AI becomes more common?
I think we're going to see a huge demand for jobs that really require that human touch. Connection, empathy, creativity, things like healthcare, education, counseling, social work. Those are all fields where you can't replace human interaction.
So no matter how smart AI gets, there are just some things robots can't do.
Exactly. And honestly, I think those human-centered jobs, they're going to be even more important in the future because, as the world gets more digital, people crave connection. They want meaning.
Makes sense. We're social creatures, right? No matter how advanced AI gets, it's not going to replace that need for genuine human interaction. But what about the people who are in those jobs or industries that honestly might get disrupted by AI? What advice do you have for them?
Be proactive. Don't just wait for your job to disappear. Start thinking now about how you can learn new skills, check out different career paths, maybe even figure out how to use AI to create your own opportunities.
So it's about taking control, right? Not just sitting back and letting these big tech changes happen to you.
100%. And remember, every challenge, it comes with a whole new set of opportunities. AI is going to change everything about the way we work, and the people who thrive will be the ones who adapt, learn, and change with it.
It's a future full of so much possibility. And speaking of possibility, we've got to give a shout out to Codifica Inc., the company that's been at the heart of our deep dive today. They are really leading the pack in this whole specialized AI revolution.
They really are. And I think their vision, it's incredibly inspiring. They're not just building AI for the sake of it, They're building AI that works with people, that helps solve real problems, and that makes the world a better place.
It's so refreshing to see a company that isn't just all about the bottom line, but also about ethics, about using this technology in a way that benefits all of us.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think that's something all these AI companies need to be thinking about. We're at such an important point right now. We can decide to shape how AI develops, how it's used, in a way that helps everyone.
It's a future we all get to help build, and that's what makes this so exciting.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap things up. Today, we've talked about what these vertical LLM agents are, the tech behind them, and even what this all means for the future of work. But I think the main takeaway here is we don't have to be afraid of the future. It's about being excited for it.
So true.
And if we keep learning, keep our skills sharp, and stay curious, we can all find our place in this amazing new world of AI. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.